Good evening. Welcome to my podcast on constructivism and ICT in the classroom. This podcast will explore the use of three ICT tools and how they can be used in a constructivist approach to meet the needs of diverse learner cohorts. Firstly, I would like to start my presentation by defining constructivism and scaffolding in a classroom context. In a constructivist classroom, students are actively involved in their own process of learning. Instead of listening to the presentation information via a teacher and accepting it as how it is presented, they investigate the topic by using a variety of resources available to them, such as ICT, interact with other students, ask questions in an inquiry-based manner, and draw conclusions themselves. Teachers only act as a facilitator, someone to monitor and guide students toward the correct answers. Hands-on activities are used for the classroom application of constructivism, critical thinking, and learning. Those ICT tools function as an intellectual partner to promote critical thinking between users or between user and machine. The term scaffolding is used to refer to a pedagogical strategies in which teachers provide temporary support and guiding frameworks which allows students to comprehend higher levels of content or skill that they would not be able to achieve without assistance. The use of scaffolding is implemented to prevent frustration and stimulate learning in class, guiding students without implementing reviewing the answers. When using these techniques, teacher support is fundamental. While teacher is more present at the beginning, they will slowly withdraw once students begin to reach their targeted knowledge. My first example of how ICT tools may be used in a constructivist classroom as guiding tool to scaffold students is through the usage of educational program, Kahoot. Kahoot is a web-based learning platform which allows students to respond to multiple choice questions that teachers view on the big screen or via projector. Students answer those questions by using their own electronic device, and Kahoot displays the answer proportion of students who have chosen the answer in real time. As an online learning platform that can be applied to the majority of subject areas, Kahoot aids teachers in identifying any potential misunderstanding their classes may have, provides scaffolding to students regarding the topic examined, and further facilitate class discussion in which students interact and synthesize their own conclusions. Thus, students are actively involved in the class activities to reach their intended conclusion under various scaffolding strategies from the teacher. Another noteworthy tool is Scoodles. Scoodle is a website that contains several problem-solving games that has been designed to be aligned with the Australian curriculum. These problem-solving games will help my students maintain an active involvement in the classroom. These provide constructivist support to their learning, not only helping them by actively involve them in their learning process, but also allow authenticating it by providing live visual information and real-life scenario. Moreover, it increases students' motivation for learning and they come to appreciate the relevance of their learning in a real-world context. There are also various groups and work activity in school that encourage discussion between students, which leads to them becoming a constructivist learner and interpret their learning in their own way to improve their own process of learning. The final ICT tool I would like to discuss is inspiration. Inspiration is primarily used for the creation of mind maps or tree diagrams, which help students to organize their knowledge. Boxes are labeled with concepts or keywords, and connection can be made between these concepts in a digital format to help students to visualize the content easily. They also help students in allowing them to develop critical thinking, relating to how or why links and ideas are created. These scaffolding activities from teachers facilitate metacognition and aid the achievement of learning targets. Mind map as presented by ICT tools such as Inspiration are great scaffolding tools that teachers can use to bridge the language gap between the language used by the student and the language used by the teacher. One of these is to present information visually, allowing teacher to provide background upon which to add language or visual features such as mind map and tree diagram to present difficult concepts with little to no complex language. Eventually, complex academic language can be plugged in so students can interact with the academic concepts that are used in the textbook or in future assessment. This is just one example of how ICT tools such as Inspiration can be used to improve learning quality. Overall, those ICT tools can help teachers to construct a constructivist learning environment. Teacher now can learn more about student prior and current knowledge using those ICT tools. For example, teacher can create those Kahoot class game so they can test out student prior knowledge or current knowledge. They can also facilitate student discussion and collaboration. For example, they can allow students to play those scooter games together so they can discuss and collaborate with each other. They can also foster an authenticate learning experience. This is because those materials being used to create those scooter games are primarily based on real-life scenarios. Finally, they can help to distribute learning. This is because as long as students have their login details, they can log in, learn, or even collaborate when they are anywhere in the world. This is especially important for students in remote areas. ICT tools can eliminate potential equity issues such as access and use of ICT, gender, or cultural biases. For example, via these ICT tools, all students are able to access all the software programs located in School as long as the teacher provides them with the necessary login details. Therefore, biases relating to gender or culture are minimized or removed. This can also be especially helpful for distant education students as they can access to their school activities even when they are in remote areas. There are, however, certain ethical and safety risks that teachers must be aware when using ICT tools. The most obvious is Kahoot questions and Scooter activities. Teachers must ensure that they are allowed to use any content presented and correctly reference the content as necessary to avoid any copyright issues. They also need to make sure that these content are not inappropriate material such as sex or violence. Lastly is a matter of cyberbullying and privacy. Given the public nature of this software, students often realize who perform poorly in a class. This is because all the answers are present on the front screen. Therefore, everyone can tell which student performed poorly. Therefore, teachers should implement precautionary methods such as making sure students use nickname only and only the teacher is aware who answer that belong to. This is to avoid any bullying behavior, privacy issue, or general antisocial behavior. However, there are certain disadvantages associated with using ICT tools despite their myriad benefits as scaffolding tools or constructing constructivist classrooms. One of these predominant limits is the role as a class distraction from the actual learning content. For example, students can be distracted and focused on playing games in school rather than learning the actual content that it provides. These ICT tools also increase the demand for teachers regarding the effectiveness implementation of these tools without sacrificing the learning content. Finally, there are greater risks regarding the technical difficulties such as slow internet or lacking the necessary equipment in rural schools. Regardless of these issues, the benefits of ICT tools greatly outweigh the limitation. Therefore, within the context of constructivist classroom to promote a more active and engaging learning environment, ICT tools should be continued used to improve the teaching quality through scaffolding, the use of appropriate content, and constant fine-tuning these tools to support diverse learners from all backgrounds and areas. Thank you for listening.